It's time to stop treating yourself like garbage. It's time to acknowledge and realize the fact that the most important relationship that you will ever have is the one that you have with yourself. The majority of the people go through their entire lives having a toxic relationship with themselves, being at war with themselves, hating themselves, comparing themselves to other people constantly, not feeling good enough, feeling worthless, not loving who they really are, not even having the courage to be who they are because they don't accept and embrace who they are. People have everything. They have the nice car, they have an amazing job, maybe the career that they dreamed about. They have the relationship of their dreams. Maybe they have everything that they've ever wanted in life. On the outside world, to other people, everything looks amazing. And the one thing that these people don't have is a healthy relationship with themselves. Because they treat themselves like garbage. And yet, people keep asking themselves, why am I so miserable? Why am I feeling so unhappy even though everything in the external world looks so amazing? Well, no wonder why you are feeling miserable, sweetheart. Because you are avoiding, neglecting the most important relationship, which is the relationship with yourself. The reason why the majority of people keep doing this, because they don't know the importance of self-love. They don't know the importance of the relationship they have with themselves. To accept and embrace who you are in a society that profits off of your insecurities. The thing is the fact that if you want to treat yourself like garbage, if you want to keep hating yourself for the rest of your life, you are choosing that. And if that's the case for you, if you want to do that, then you can click off this video. However, if you don't want to do that, then keep watching this video. People are not realizing what's costing them by having a toxic relationship with themselves. Because people don't realize that your relationship with yourself, your level of self-love, how much you respect yourself, you having a high self-worth, you knowing that you deserve the best, you learning to be confident in yourself and learning to accept, embrace, and love who you are, is connected to the way in which you move through your own life. The fact that you keep giving people the benefit of the doubt and letting them walk all over you, you're not realizing that that comes from your lack of self-respect. Or the fact that you are in a miserable job and yet you think you don't deserve any better. Don't you see how that's connected to the way that you feel like, I don't deserve any better than this. Like, I'm not worthy of it. I'm not deserving of living the life that I desire. You keep chasing the feeling of being good enough because you have a hole inside of you from experiencing childhood trauma. A lot of people have so much self-doubt, lack of confidence, lack of belief in themselves because they don't accept, embrace, and love who they are. I absolutely doubt that you can be the happiest person in your life and still hate yourself. It's just, it doesn't go together. It doesn't happen like that. It is costing you so much happiness and peace that you could have with yourself if you were to love and accept who you are and your physical appearance and your body shape. Instead of letting beauty standards and, certain features and body shapes that are moving like fashion trends impact the way that you feel about yourself and your body negatively. When you accept and embrace and love who you are, and I mean your authentic self, not your conditioned self from you experiencing abuse or your childhood trauma, not the person that your parents wants you to be. I'm talking about you that is connected to your own values. You know how much peace you will feel if you learn to accept, embrace, and love who you are? I don't think you know how much peace that will bring. But as someone who hated themselves As someone who betrayed myself in order to be accepted, liked, and loved by my parents, and trying to mold myself into being the person that my parents wanted me to be, and the choices that they wanted me to make. And when I stopped doing all of those things, and when I started being my true self unapologetically, the amount of peace that I felt in my body and in my heart is honestly priceless. This is the reason why I'm sharing with you my experience, showing you what is costing you by you having this toxic relationship with yourself. Nobody's gonna come here and tell you, you should start your self-love and healing journey. Like, nobody's gonna come here and tell you that. Nobody is gonna come here and save you. Nobody's gonna come here and tell you how to respect yourself. Or the fact that you need to respect yourself. Or the fact that you need to value yourself more. Or the fact that you need to start seeing your own potential. I mean, if you have an amazing friend, that friend might tell you that. But the thing is the fact that it's called self-love for a reason. Because it has to come from you. So I just forgot to mention something, which is that self-love, as in your relationship with yourself, is your responsibility. It's not someone else's responsibility. It is your responsibility. You need to realize the fact that you deserve better. You need to realize the fact that, you know what, I deserve better out of my life, out of my career, out of my relationships, because I am deserving and worthy of it. Because I respect myself. But when you don't do that, you don't see yourself that way. Nobody's gonna come here and tell you how important self-love is and remind you to accept, embrace, and love yourself and the importance of that, which is the reason why it's called self-love for a reason. The truth that many people don't want to hear is the fact that no matter what happened in your childhood or what kind of childhood traumas or, emotional neglect or abuse that you've experienced either in childhood or growing up, you are now responsible for the relationship that you have with yourself. That's something that a lot of people don't want to hear because they would rather blame someone else or they would rather make excuses to keep continuing the toxic relationship that they have with themselves. It's time that you stop running away from yourself. It's time that you stop using other people as an excuse to continue to hate yourself. As a mid-15-year-old, I started my self-love journey after a toxic connection that I was in. But when I was 16 years old, I started taking everything really seriously because I was in the middle of my second toxic connection and I felt horrible about myself because I was in the same position again. I felt worthless, I felt ashamed about myself, and the fact that I had zero self-respect, I wanted to change that. I didn't like how I was running away from myself. So in my childhood, I've experienced sexual abuse twice. And then I also experienced ongoing religious abuse. And then I also experienced some other painful things that I do not feel comfortable sharing here online, as well as I've experienced bullying when I was younger, when I was in school. There's so many other effed up things that happened, but I did not use anyone as an excuse for me to continue to hate myself. I stopped running away from myself and I took full responsibility for everything. It's one thing when you realize the fact that you have this relationship with yourself and you are aware of the self-love concept or the fact that you have this toxic relationship with yourself. Finally take responsibility versus it's another thing when you know about all of these things that you are treating yourself like garbage and still you are not doing anything about that. You are not taking responsibility. You are not taking action. You are not doing anything. You are just choosing to continue on having this toxic relationship with yourself. Those are two different things. If the second scenario that I've just mentioned sounds like something that you have done, if you're watching this video right now, forgive your past self for whatever reason that you've decided to keep on hating yourself. I don't know that. I don't know you. I don't know your reason. I don't know, okay? Forgive your past self. But now that you are here, that's all that matters. If I chose to keep on focusing what I could have, should have done in the past, I would never be here where I am today. That's the reason why I say your past self did the best that he or she did with the knowledge that they had at that time. But now that you know better, you can do better. But from now on, today, you can decide whether you want to continue your toxic relationship with yourself or whether you want to end this toxic relationship with yourself today. The power lies in your own hands to build a healthy, loving relationship with yourself and release your conditioned self so that you can start accepting, embracing, and loving who you are, your authentic self. You can mark in your calendar or on your phone, or I don't know, do a room decoration to symbolize the new chapter in your life that you are starting your self-love journey. Whatever it might be, but something that will remind you and make you realize and acknowledge that you are ending this toxic relationship with yourself and you are going to start your self-love journey and you are no longer going to treat yourself like garbage. I want you to write in the comments down below and let me know. You are ending your toxic relationship with yourself today. So if you want to start your self-love journey, then the self-love series on this channel is going to help you immensely. I will be guiding you step by step on how you can start your self-love journey. You're going to learn everything that you need to know so that you can build a healthy, loving relationship with yourself. You can check out the playlist of my self-love series and read the description so that you will know what to expect and everything that you are going to learn from this series. Other than that, if you enjoyed watching this video, then you are absolutely going to love watching the video You Are Not Born Hating Yourself and Your Childhood Trauma Made You Hate Yourself, which both of the videos I'll be linking in the description box down below so that you can check it out. Because in one of the video, Your Childhood Trauma Made You Hate Yourself, you can educate yourself on the specific childhood trauma that you have experienced in your childhood and growing up, or just in your childhood, whether that was emotional neglect or any kind of abuse, whether that was narcissistic abuse from your parents or someone else, or physical abuse or religious abuse, either from your family members or someone else, or sexual abuse, whatever type of abuse that you've experienced in your childhood, as well as I went deep into what trauma is and the types of emotional neglect, whether active or passive, and some of the signs that you might have experienced emotional neglect in your childhood. And most importantly, I've talked about based on the specific childhood trauma that you've experienced in your childhood and growing up, or just in childhood, and how that impacted your relationship with yourself negatively. All the ways that you were negatively impacted by experiencing the specific childhood trauma. It's going to help you become aware of your conditioned self, of course, as well as it will help you forgive your past self for not knowing any better, for not doing any better. Just like how I blamed myself after experiencing sexual abuse. I didn't know that that was not my fault. But after educating myself, when it comes to what happens with a victim after experiencing sexual abuse, the fact that they gaslight themselves, honestly, it made so much sense, and I forgave my past self for thinking that it was my fault. So that was just an example that I gave you, but yeah, it can help you forgive your past self for all the ways that you've acted towards yourself, or for how you felt about yourself, or for certain problems that you had that you couldn't make sense of. With that being said, I hope you really enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you will not miss out on any of the new episodes on my self-love series that will help you immensely on your self-love journey. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye!